Johnny Powers.
Thanks, Ron. Hang on. Okay, you coming up too? Ron forgot his most important and notable title, the second best looking guy at Suntex. Redmond is the first. He's taking that title, sorry. Anyway, thank you all so much. Ron T, you're just a rock star. You and your team, this is just, it's amazing what you guys have done. And there's so much more to do. But thank you, Liz, Kim, Bob, Michelle, Todd, all of you all for making this possible and helping change so many lives. You know, since I met Dan, we met Dan over a year and a half ago, God has really had his hand on this. And I think that we together are just going to be able to change so many lives and just embrace this opportunity to help people like Sarah and just all the families who provide us our freedom. We're so honored to be able to embrace this opportunity. And thank you all so much. All of you here are the reason that we're able to do this and we're able to do what really matters. Jeannie and Frank, Liberty House. There you are, Frank. Where's Jeannie? Jeannie, you guys are so amazing. I mean, you all, yes. I mean, you all and your whole team just embody hospitality, and just it's amazing. We're so blessed and honored to be partners with y'all. And where's Chris Daniel? There you are. Thanks, brother. You're a rock star. Chris, Wes, Joe, American Bank, thank y'all. We wouldn't be here without y'all. Thank you for everything you do. Where's the real rock star? Jocelyn, Chris's much better half. Jossie. She definitely makes it happen. Josh, thank you so much. Jocelyn, she pulls this all together. Thank you so much for leading the Suntex effort to do this. You know, I saw a quote the other day that Bill Gates said. He said, most people overestimate what they can do in a year and underestimate what they can do in 10 years. And I didn't really think it was that profound or whatever, but I started thinking about it. If you think about the last year or so, what we've done, I actually don't think we've overestimated. Think of what we've done, think of what we've accomplished, but just think of what we can do coming together over the next 5 years, 10 years, as we go force multiply with the Folds of Honor. With God's hand on this, and with all of us working together, we can change so many lives. It's such an awesome opportunity. We just appreciate all y'all's support so much. All right, let's do some awards. Waiting to say something?
I'm so bad.
Okay. All right, never mind. We gotta. You can't sing. Okay, come here. It's okay. In a second. Okay, hold on. So, guys, we're gonna give some awards to our major sponsors, and thank you all so much. Folds, thanks you. This is Jeannie and Frank. You guys come up here. Thanks. Thank you all so much.
In the same room together tonight. That's pretty big. That's close.
America, you know those guys? know the American Bank guys? Come here, boys. Chris, Joe, Wes. All right, well, at least the guy that does all the work is coming up. Come on. We all know that. You guys give a good kiss. Y'all can actually do it real good. BCB, thank you guys so much. Tom? Thank you all so much for your partnership, and we look forward to partnering with you guys on much more stuff. Thank you so much. And by the way, all these groups are huge, huge sponsors, multiple scholarships. Thank you all so much. Nabil, thank you again. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
This way.
One more? I don't get any better looking. This is shocking.
Right here. Bruce and Sandy, we love you guys. Where you at? There you are.
Thank you, Captain Girl.
You drive later. Yes, other side. Come on, get in the front. Make me look good. Thank you.
That's what you loved me for, I know.
Liberty Landing. That would be the second best looking guy in Suntech. Yeah, you guys on Liberty team. Come on. You guys get up there. Woo! Damn, you rock. Okay, thank you guys.
Get up in the front. This next one goes out to a family that's near and dear to all of our hearts, the Powers family.
Hey, yeah, get up. I'll take it.
And they just keep on coming.
I'm so bad,
Everybody squeeze together.
Okay, Josh, keep it clean, All right, here.
I'm going down, down, down. Baby, baby, baby. I'm going down, 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 down.
Okay. Thank you all. I would like for Sarah from Folds to come up and speak with us. And oh, Josie, you want to come speak? Josie, Marine Max, our partner. Thank you so much. We're gonna rock this together.
Thanks. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. Marine Max is supporting the Folds of Honor with a nationwide sale across all 54 of our stores this month. So we'll be making our contribution at the end of the month. And we have two beautiful Sea Ray yachts here. Shelby from Sea Ray is over there as well. Please do come down to the docks, see it's right here. We have the beautiful 650 Flybridge and a 580. And the owner, Mark Kushner, is here to tell you all about the boat if you'd like to come and check it out. So we'll see you down the dock. And I'd like to welcome Sarah up here, please, for the next piece. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Sarah and I am the daughter of Captain Dennis Michael White of the United States Air Force. And on April 18th, 1995, my dad went out for a routine flight check off of the coast of North Carolina. He was an F-15 fighter pilot, and it just so happened that that day something went wrong with his jet and they had to eject their seats, and he did not survive. And that day, my family and I's world turned upside down and our lives would never be the same, right? My brother and I would grow up without him, and there would be a huge piece missing from our lives for the rest of our life. And the week leading up to the accident, my mom and dad both had a dream that his jet was going to go down. And my mom dreamt it first and didn't tell him about it. And then the next night, my dad had the dream, and so he woke up distraught and upset, and he was like, you know, you won't believe the dream that I just had. And my mom was like, well, tell me about it. And so he did. And she was just like, well, what was your outcome? And he said, I didn't have one. And she said, well, you won't believe it, but I had the same dream the night before. But, you know, in my dream, you didn't make it. And so, as normal lives do, they went on just with the busyness of everyday life and kind of forgot about the dreams, never thought anything of it or anything like that. And my family and I were supposed to go up to the beach that weekend for Easter. My grandparents were selling their beach house, so it was going to be the last time that we could all get together as a family and just remember all the great times that we had had there. And so on our way up to the beach house, my younger brother and I fell asleep in the back of the car, and my mom looked at my dad and she said, you know, Dennis, if God calls you home tomorrow, are you ready to go? And he looked at her and he said, yeah, I'm ready. And she was like, no, I want you to really think about it. If he really decides to call you home tomorrow, are you really ready to go? And so that time, he took a few minutes to answer, and he finally turned to her and said, you know, it would never be my choice to leave you and the kids behind. But yeah, if he calls me home, I'm ready. And so we went up to the beach. That was the first time that they had ever had a conversation like that. I was 6 years old at the time, my brother was 4. And so my parents were young too, and they had never talked about what ifs, you know, what they would do if an accident were to happen, how they would go on with their everyday lives. You know, my mom didn't know that he would want to be buried at Arlington and all that kind of stuff. So it was the first time that they had that conversation. So we go up to the beach and we have an incredible weekend. And like I said, because it was kind of our last weekend there, my aunt was walking around with a video camera. And she finds my dad and my uncle out on the back porch, and she comes up to them and she's like, you know, John, Dennis, what are y'all doing? Sorry, I'm from the South, so y'all comes out every once in a while. And my dad looks at the camera and looks at my aunt and he says, well, we're just discussing the perfect recipe for a perfect martini and talking about how good life is. And that was just the type of man my dad was. I mean, he was full of life. He was a 6'4" play toy, a fighter jet pilot, just a fun guy and an awesome dad. And so anyway, she looks back at him and she's like, well, you know, now that the beach house is being sold, what are you going to do next? And he looked at her and he said, I'm not sure, but, you know, I think it's really time that I leave this place behind and I press on towards what's ahead. So interesting verbiage that he used. And we didn't know at the time, of course, that that would be the last footage that we have of my dad ever on camera. And so my dad had to leave early that weekend to go work. to go out on that routine flight check off the coast of North Carolina. And the next morning we get that fateful knock at the door, and it was the squadron commander's wife, our pastor, and our neighbor, to let us know that there had been an accident. And they had recovered the pilot's body, and he was in the local hospital, but they had not yet been able to find my dad. So my mom immediately drove to the hospital to be with the Udells and be with their family. And then several hours later, they came back and said that they had recovered my dad's body and that he had not made it. It's been a long time since the accident. It's been almost 20 years. And as you can see, they say time heals all wounds, and there's definitely been healing. And healing has definitely come from my family and I, and we live a very blessed life, and I consider myself very blessed at the end of the day. But there will always be a piece missing. And at the time of the accident, I just remember thinking that my dad would never be here to celebrate another birthday with me, because as a 6-year-old, that was what was important to me at the time. And as time goes on, you know, that changes a little bit. And now he'll no longer, or he won't be here the day that I get married, or he wasn't there the day that I graduated from Auburn. And so nothing can ever replace him. Nothing can ever bring him back. And I would give anything to have him back. But he's right where he's supposed to be, and I know that I will see him again one day. But through the incredible people of the Folds of Honor, I found them my sophomore year at Auburn. I'm actually the first recipient to graduate. And in 2011, I graduated from Auburn, and I'm just so blessed. And the scholarship, it's a huge financial relief for my mom and I, and it was. And it's a huge financial relief for so many families. But more than that, like I mentioned in the video, it's just so incredible to have people that come around and just say, you know, we won't forget. Because unless it affects you personally, you know, your life goes on. And for us, our lives will never be the same. So for people to stand up and just say, you know, we remember and we won't forget, and the fact that I'm standing here almost 20 years later, talking to a room full of strangers and honoring the sacrifice that my dad made and honoring the person that he was, is just so incredible. And so on behalf of so many recipient families like mine, I just want to say thank you so much to all of you that are in the room, because it's so easy to turn your cheek and to just continue on with your life, but it truly means so much to these families. And so I just want to say thank you to everyone here for your support in the Folds of Honor, and just for being here to support the mission. We really appreciate it.
Thank you all. Thank you all so much.
I also want to say thank you to Kristen and Sam and Matthew for being here. They've donated their time and performances, and I know Kristen has a very special dedication she's going to do in a minute. Thank you.